We go into Parliament for more when we get our correspondent Kwekwa Sante on the line. But Deputy Majority Leader Alexander Afenyo-Markin is urging Parliament to stand up against what he describes as executive manipulation by demanding a review of the 1992 Constitution to stop the President from appointing ministers from Parliament. Article 78 of the Constitution places an obligation on the President to appoint more than 50% of ministers from Parliament in the formation of a government. But Alexander Afenyo-Markin believes the provision is responsible for the perceived weaknesses in Parliament and must be addressed. He was speaking at the Gimpa Law Week event.
One critic I hold a view, in all humility, that this provision that requires a majority of ministers of state shall be appointed from among members of Parliament should be looked at the second time. This provision, among other things, unnecessarily encourages executive intrusion into Parliament. It makes it almost impossible for MPs who become ministers to criticize policies and actions of government in which they serve as ministers. Also, it encourages non-minister MPs from critiquing the government of the day out of the fear that they might be overlooked during the subsequent nomination of ministers of state if they dare to be critical of the government of the day. I took a position from day one that I want to be in Parliament and do parliamentary business. So I recall that 2017, when many colleagues were all over lobbying, they asked me, Afenyo, are you not interested? I said, no, I don't want to be a minister. Neither do I want to be a deputy minister. I want to remain in Parliament, chair a committee or vice chair a committee or be in leadership. And I maintain that. I remember when we got the opportunity again in 2020, we came into 2021, the region had a problem with me. I didn't cry on person minister. I said, no, I want to remain in Parliament. So eventually we settled on the position I occupy today. Because I believe that I need to build capacity. That the work of an MP is not about combining ministerial job and again saying that you're a member of Parliament. You can't do it all. And I hold a view that if we critically look at this, it will help MPs to assert themselves. A member of Parliament should assert himself. You should have what it takes to demonstrate that you are indeed representing the people.
We can go back to Parliament and speak with my colleague Kwekwa Sante, who is monitoring events there for us. Kweku, debates are supposed to wrap up today on the President's State of the Nation address. What are we to expect?
So any moment from now, the Deputy Speaker, who has been chairing this whole week, will get into his chair. We expect that Dr. Kisela Tuforsen, or State Chairman Sabos, will be concluding the debate as has been happening the whole week in terms of the State of the Nation address. The minority leader, as we have been told, will be seeking to coalesce the views that have been shared by his MPs on the address that the President delivered. Dr. Tuforsen, knowing very well his current role as a ranking member on the Finance Committee, we are told will focus mainly on the economy and seek to distinguish some of the claims that were made by President Akufo-Addo in his address. We know that the President admitted that the country was in crisis, but said that his government was on top of the issues and was just about to take Ghana out of the doldrums. Indeed, Dr. Tuforsen will be going ahead to make some points about how the current IMF deal will delay longer than usual. The expectation of government had been that by the end of this month or somewhere around this period, government would have gotten the deal with the IMF in terms of the board level agreement. Today is 17th. We do not know anything yet as to whether or not government will get that any moment from now. But also next week, a lot of business having to do with some bills of finance that will have to come back. So Atufosi will be making a point generally about why he thinks that government do not deserve those revenue measures. On the other hand, Osei Chairman Sabos will also be putting together the views that have been shared by his colleagues on the majority side, particularly on the road sector. The President made a bold declaration there that his government has constructed most roads in this Fourth Republic. And we've heard from the roads minister himself, who says if Parliament is so minded, they can constitute a committee to look into those claims that were made by the President, and they will find out to be true And so we'll be hearing from the majority leader in terms of what government has been able to do within this period. That gives them that idea that President Akufo-Addo has constructed more roads in the Fourth Republic than any other president.
What else are we expected? Should we expect in Parliament? What other business are they conducting?
So currently, the leadership of the Ghana Union of Traders Association, GUTA, is meeting the Mines and Energy Committee. They have concerns about a legislative instrument that is seeking to ban imported and used electrical materials into the country. They say they are opposed to that, and they are meeting the committee to try and fashion out some modalities in terms of what they will be able to do to have to push aside that ally. We're expecting that the committee will listen to their concerns, put together a report, and put that before Parliament.
Kwekwa Asante is our parliamentary correspondent. More from Parliament in our subsequent bulletins, definitely when we get news from there. But